Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King. Today I'm excited because I'm showing off. I just got this in the mail. It's the physical proof for my latest comic, the Crimebuster 80th Anniversary Special. And this went to Kickstarter a couple months ago. The Kickstarter ran in August and September, and this is celebrating the 80th anniversary of one of my favorite characters, Crimebuster. And as you can see, it features a never before published Crimebuster cover by legendary Golden Age artist George Tuska, inked by Andrew Peepoy. So I was very excited to do this comic, but I'm super excited to actually have a copy in my hand. Now, as you can see, this is the proof edition they send me so I can review any kind of issues with it and make any kind of tweaks or changes or corrections before it actually gets printed, and so the final version is sent out to all the readers. But there's been a little bit of a delay getting this in. Normally, once they send me the digital proof, they also send out the physical proof at the same time, and I'll get that physical proof about a week later. In this case, they sent me the digital proof back on October 28, and so it's been a little over 3 weeks between them sending the digital proof and me actually receiving the physical proof. So they had some kind of issue with their printing apparatus that had some kind of breakdown. That's what I was told. So it's a little bit later than I was expecting, but it is in hand, and I'm really excited because it looks super cool. Of course, what I did with this 80th anniversary special, I wanted to do a 100-page giant. So the first 2/3 of the story are reprinting classic Crimebuster stories from Boy Comics from the Golden Age. I scanned all of these myself from my own personal collection. As you know, I have a complete run of Boy Comics. So I scanned these all myself, and then I digitally cleaned them up, corrected some of the coloring. And so I think this is the highest quality version of these stories that you're going to get anywhere other than if you buy the originals. And these actually look nicer than some of my originals because some of them were a little bit tan and stuff, so I had to do some color correcting and clean things up. But it's got several hand-picked stories from the Golden Age showing different Crimebuster and different phases of the series. And this shows specifically like how it inspired me to create the series Crimebusters, because all of these stories were direct inspirations for elements in my comic, the Crimebusters, which carries on the legacy of the original series. And so that's the other half of the book. You know, the original DC 100-page giants, they'd always have the new story, and then they'd have the reprints. So in this case, the new story is the first issue of Crimebusters, written and drawn by me. But it's also remastered as well, because I originally published this in black and white, so I had this colored for this edition. This is the first time this story has been put out in color, and so I'm really excited for that, to get this out in color for the first time. And it's just so cool to have a 100-page giant format, and it's just I'm really excited. So what I'm doing now is I have to go through the process. In this case, the process of reviewing the proof is actually not as intensive as it usually is, because these are all reprints. So like I don't have to do things like checking to make sure that there aren't panels or word balloons that are going off the side. I don't need to be looking for typos in the actual stories, because that's stuff that's all been done when these were originally printed. So I've already done all of that, and so it's a lot easier this time around in terms of the amount of time. The only thing that I really need to review are some of the text features, and I've done that, and it actually all looks fine. The only thing that I've had to ask them to correct is actually the production part, because since it's a flip book, it's really hard to designated, this is the front cover and this is the back cover because they're both front covers. And essentially what happened is they printed everything correctly, but the cover was put on upside down, meaning that this is supposed to be the front cover and this is supposed to be the back cover, but they put this on the front and this on the back. And not sure anyone would even notice, but I have, the Golden Age cover, and on the inside of the Golden Age cover, I have a text feature where I'm talking about the history of the character, the publishing history of the character, and that is supposed to lead into the Golden Age reprint section. And then on the new cover, which also features my new character, Trixie, the inside of that is talking about my inspiration for creating Crimebusters and how I ended up doing that. And it's got all the credits for the Crimebuster story. And so that, of course, is supposed to be leading into Crimebusters. So it's just a simple matter of basically telling them, put it on the other way. So what I'm actually going to be doing after I finish this video is I'm going to be taking the cover off of this, flipping it around and putting it on correctly, and then I'm going to actually, just to make sure it's so hard to explain, this is supposed to be the front cover and this is the back cover, since there's no front or back to a flip book. So I'm going to do a little video where I just show them when you open this book, it's supposed to be this page, just to show them that. So it does mean that my beautiful, beautiful proof copy, I'm going to have to tear the cover off of it. But that is how this process works, is to fix the little things like that. Again, I'm not sure anyone would necessarily have clocked this, but that's the way it's intended to be. And I think it will improve the experience a little bit for readers if it's in the correct order. So, but if it's not, it still works perfectly fine. It's just not quite the experience I wanted. And, it has been very tricky with the flip pages to get this stuff right. And so I don't really want to make any tweaks to the files because it could add more confusion. But in this case, since I don't need to change the files, it's easy enough to just say, hey, let's flip the cover around so it's the other way. And this is not really an issue with the Artist Edition, because the Artist Edition has this on one side, and then the other side is going to be the same image but without any trade dress, and it's going to be black and white with no coloring. It's going to be the original inked art. And so either of those will work equally fine for the front cover, really. The Artist Edition, the regular cover also does not have the text. So there's one version where it's all in color and one where it's all in black and white. So either can be front, either can be back, doesn't really matter. So that one I'm not concerned about them doing that. It's just this one. I will say this, it feels really cool. You can tell the difference holding the comic between the thickness and quality of the paper in this as opposed to the original 100-page Giants from the 70s. It just feels a little more substantial. The cover is thicker, so it feels more like a trade paperback than a single issue floppy, which is fine because it's really cool. And it's also been a really handy test for me because I will be putting out, hopefully next summer, the first Crimebusters trade paperback, which collects the first 5 issues. It's going to be bigger than this. It's going to be more like 200 pages instead of 100. But just going through this process of doing the square bound and just seeing what it's like, how it feels, it seems to be quite sturdy. The construction seems to be really good, and I'm very happy with it. So, very excited. I just wanted to share that. Real quick, at the time I'm recording this, at the time this is going live, my current Kickstarter for Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam number 2 is still live until Monday the 28th, Cyber Monday. I did, because the printer I use has a minimum print run on these, I do have some extras left over. So I had to print a certain amount, and that was more than I had orders for on Kickstarter. So I do have some extra copies coming. And so this, if you missed this, or you maybe wanted to get the Artist Edition, you didn't get it the first time, whatever, you can get them as add-ons if you back Cthulhu vs. Uncle Sam number 2. This is an add-on available as part of that Kickstarter. So I just wanted to mention that for anyone who missed it. And that's it. So I'll be doing more videos about the process as I sort of document this. I know some people that are getting into comics, making comics, this sort of thing is interesting and helpful. So I'll be chronicling the next steps when I get them back from the printer. I'll do an unboxing video where I show the finished product. And as well, with Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam, we'll be doing all the same stuff. We'll do the proofs. We'll do all the unboxings. Hopefully, we'll be having more trading cards. I'm not sure yet. So anyway, more making comics videos to come. But for now, just super excited that this exists, and I wanted to share it with everyone. Thanks very much. I'll see you next time.